Hello students, we are learning chapter 7 control and coordination, and today we are going to discuss about certain in-text questions given on page 122 of your textbook, and this is video 6 of the explanation. First question is, what are plant hormones? We know that control and coordination in the plants is done by the plant hormones, only hormones, because nervous system is not there in the plants. Plant hormones are also called phytohormones. They are called phytohormones, and plant hormones are the chemical substances which help in controlling growth, controlling so many things in the plants, like they control the growth part of the plant, flowering, then development of the plants, and they also help the plant to respond to the external environmental stimuli. These are the things which a plant hormones does, and there are 5 main hormones in the plants. 5 main phytohormones. Auxin is one of the hormones which promotes growth in the plant. Gibberellins also promotes growth. Auxin, gibberellins, they promote growth. Cytokinin promotes the cell division and helps in the growth of the stem. That means the girth of the plant increases because of cytokinin. Abscisic acid, it inhibits growth. See, other 3, that is the cytokinin, auxin and gibberellin, they are the growth promoters, and abscisic acid is a growth inhibitor. It affects the wilting of the leaves. That means when the leaves has to fall down, it becomes yellowish. The leaves becomes yellowish and it falls off the plant. That is called wilting of the leaves. Then ethylene, it is also a growth promoter. It regulates the ripening of the fruit. Whenever proportion of ethylene is more, then the fruits ripes, and it also helps in the opening of the flowers. Now these hormones in the plants are produced at some places and their effect is in some other places. So the hormones has to be translocated either from the shoot tip or the root tip to the position where they are required. Suppose ethylene, it is produced in the root tip or the shoot tip, and from there they are that is translocated up to the fruit and helps in the ripening of the fruit. This is the effect of the hormones. So the next question, how is the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant different from the movement of shoot towards the light? That means they are talking about the movement of leaves of the sensitive plant, means movement of the touch-me-not plant. Touch-me-not plant, when we touch, their leaves curls. And then movement of the shoot towards the light means they are talking about the phototropism, that the plant shoot bends towards the light. Wherever the light comes, there the plant shoot will bend. Movement of the leaves of sensitive plants. Leaves of sensitive plants. Now it is a nastic movement. We have already studied about the nastic movement and the tropic movement. It is a nastic movement which does not depend on the direction of stimulus applied. That means wherever you are touching, the leaves are not curling towards that side. It is curling inner side. It is not towards the direction of the stimulus. And here the movement of the shoot of the light towards the light shoot. It is a tropic movement which depends on the direction of the stimulus applies. That means the shoot moves towards the light. Then the stimulus is touch. Here the external stimuli is touch. Because of the touch, the leaves gets curled, and here the stimulus is light. Because of the light, because of the presence of light, the shoot bends towards the light. It is caused by the sudden loss of water from the swellings at the base of the leaves, and this is caused by the unequal growth on the 2 sides of the shoot. Now this point we are going to understand in the next question. We see question number 4. This we will understand. And here, if it is caused by the sudden loss of water from the swelling at the base of the leaves, means what? That when we touch the leaves of the touch-me-not plant, touch-me-not plant is a climber. So here if the leaves are there, at the bottom of the leaf there is swelling part. Here again the leaves are there, here the swelling part is there, and here suppose another part of the stem goes, here different other leaves are there. So when we touch this touch-me-not plant, then here this swollen part is called pulvinus. It is called pulvinus. Now the water which is present in the leaves, this water drains out this into the pulvinus and into the other side of the stem. That means here if the leaf is there, from the leaf the water drains into the pulvinus, from the pulvinus to the other side. Because of that, the leaves which becomes devoid of water, it dries up and it curls inside. because no rigidity will be there. When the water is not there, the leaves will not remain rigid, it will droop down. It will droop down as the water has been drained from one part of the leaf to the other. So they have written that it is caused by the sudden loss of water from the swelling at the base of the leaf. Sudden loss of water is there. And this one, it is caused due to the unequal growth of the two sides of the shoot. Unequal growth of the two sides of the shoot. That I am going to explain you in question number 4. So the fourth number, it is not a growth movement and it is a growth movement. We know that the leaves gets curled and the growth is, permanent growth is not there. Again the leaves can come back to its original position. And here when the growth is towards the sunlight, then it is a permanent growth. That plant grows towards the light. Then this was this. Now question number 3, give an example of the plant hormone that promotes growth. We can give the example of any one of the hormone. As we know, auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin and ethylene, all of them are plant, that is growth promoters. We can name any one of them. The answer is auxin. The next question is, how do auxins promote the growth of a tendril around a support? That means, what are tendrils now? How the tendrils grows? The thing is that suppose it is a climber, if it is a money plant, or if it is a bitter gourd plant, suppose now it is climbing up this way. Now one of the branches, if we divert it towards another side where one stick is kept, this stick is kept, then this portion of the plant, this weak stem of the plant is going to curl like this, going to form a curl structure like this, and this curl structure you called as tendril. This is called tendril, curl structures. So if the support is there, we all know that this tendril winds around the support, and then grows along this support. Now why this part of the stem, that is the weaker stem, is going to form a tendril and why it wants to clutch the support? The thing is that whenever it gets any support, that means the part of the stem touches this stem. So the external stimuli is the touch. This is called touch. That is thigmotropism, it will show. Now thigmotropism, thigmo means touch and tropism is permanent growth. So at that time when touch is the stimuli, then the part of this stem which is away from the touch, now this part, here lot of auxins will be secreted. The part which is touching the support, not that part, the other part, lot of auxins will be secreted, and because of the secretion of the auxin, now this part will start growing. And when it starts growing and further it cannot go because it is supported by the support, and here it curls. Here it curls and form the tendrils, and these curls then wind around the support this way. So this is how the auxins promotes the growth of a tendril around a support. See, I have written here, when the tip of the tendril touches the support, then the auxins present in its tip move to that side of the tip which is away from the support. That means the side which is not towards the support, which is away from the support, all the auxins will move towards that. All the auxins from here will move towards opposite side, this way. And now auxins will promote growth. So due to the more auxins in it, the side of the tendril away from the side of the tendril which is away from the support grows faster and becomes longer than the side which is in contact with the support, and makes the tendril twirl or bend around the support. Okay. Now the next one is design an experiment to demonstrate hydrotropism. Now this experiment we can understand through one animation video which is sent to you. I have sent you. Now let us understand it. Hydrotropism. See, take two pots, pot A and pot B. In pot A we plant keep one plant, we plant it, and then regularly water is, the soil becomes wet, so uniform distribution of water is there. And in pot B we are planting this small herb or small plant, and then we are not watering it regularly. Instead we are keeping one earthen pot by the side which is having some pores. That means the water will drip from the side of the earthen pot, and only one side of the plant will be wet. On one side of the right side of the plant is wet soil you are having, and here you are having dry soil. It is having dry soil. Now the root of this plant will grow towards this pot. When we take out this plant and see the shape of the root, it is going straight like this, straight and equal distribution in both the side. And when we are taking out this plant from the soil, you can find the root is bending towards the right side. Why it is bending? Because on the right hand side the water was kept. So the root bends towards the water. That is called hydrotropism. This is all for today. We will meet in the next video.